Hello, and welcome to Cardboard and Plastic. Today's video is a response to the video that I put out yesterday about being careful when buying low-graded PSA cards, and boy, did that blow up there. I mean, less than 24 hours, I have like over 3,000 views. I guess I have over 500 subscribers now. Yay me. I haven't even checked that. I had no idea I had even over 200. There's a lot of channels, please, out there that have 200-300 people that are subscribed to them that are much better than anything I do. But I think a lot of people, oh, by the way, people got heated over it. It was great. I mean, I was getting novel comments. Like, people like paragraph after paragraph in the comments, angry about what I said. There was even some Kurt's Card Care, probably people in there as well giving comments. And I just want to kind of give you a little bit of a clarification to what I was talking about in that video. And by the way, if you take a look at straight ahead, I mean, I had a mail day. And look what I got. I bought a 3.5 Warren Spawn. And in the video, I think a lot of people thought that what I was saying is don't buy low-graded PSA cards. That is not at all what I was saying. What I was saying, if you buy a 2, if you buy a 3 online, you have to be very careful about what you're buying, and don't be disappointed when a card comes back with a major flaw on it that you couldn't see from a two-dimensional scan. That's all I was saying. And don't overpay for those cards. I bought this card. By the way, I got a great deal on this card. $27.13 shipped to my house. Gorgeous card. Now, I took a chance though, right? You buy a 2 or a 3, I'm not going to overpay for it because there's wrinkles on this card, right? Where they are, where are the creases, where are the wrinkles, that is the problem. And for this card, I'm very fortunate, right, that the wrinkle is up here at the top of his hat. But imagine if the wrinkle just goes right across his face and you couldn't see that from the scan. That is what I'm saying. Just be careful about. By the way, a lot of times with PSA, if you see like a 3.5 or a 4.5 or a 2.5, that card usually typically has really good high eye appeal, and the wrinkle won't be like through its face typically. Okay, so, but if you buy a 2 or a 3, all I was saying is that is not a 5 or a 6. PSA may be grading harder by like 1 grade, but they're not giving 2s and 3s now that were 5 and 6s in the past. That is just not true. Well, 95 to 99% not true. Of course, there's cards that are coming back that they make errors on, and that does happen. By the way, they make way too many errors. So with cards like this, we pay so much money for grading. We pay $20 a card on average, probably even more than that, to grade cards with PSA. And when you grade cards with it, we don't even know why it got the grade it got. We need, just like on the cert number, it would just be so much better for collectors if they had with the cert number just a little note just saying, and I know they're trying to do this with cards, but they're only doing this with cards that you're paying like $500 to grade. But what they could say, like, they could just have a picture of the card there and just circled like where the wrinkle is. That's all they need to do. Just like give a short description, like where the wrinkle is on the card. And if it's not across the face, a lot of buyers would just be like, yeah, that's great. I want a card that's great high eye appeal. And I don't care if there's a big wrinkle or crease that it's at the top of the card, the bottom of the card, on the left edge. But if it goes through the face, that'll be a deal breaker for me, right? So that's all I'm saying. By the way, I did make a mistake buying that card. Well, it's not the mistake that you think. The mistake is a couple weeks ago, I bought probably over like 2 months ago, I bought a 1955 Topps Worn Spawn. And I completely forgot. I have too many cards. I already have a 4.5. So you can't have too many 1956 Topps cards. That's a fact. So, and I also got to show you one more mail day this weekend. Look at this beautiful thing right here. Redmond Tobacco, Bob Lemon. Now, they have a bunch of these different year, I believe, Bob Lemons there. But this is the special one. This is lemon yellow, the yellow parallel version. Right? So that is one thing that I was talking about in the video that I think it got some people upset because there's a lot of people that just that are fine with a 3 with surface wrinkles that you can only see at certain angles. And I'm just telling, like, I was just saying, like, just a lot of people now, the narrative is PSA doesn't know what they're doing at all. Well, they have a lot of inexperienced people, I think, but they're not taking those 3s. There's something wrong with a 3. There's something wrong with the 2. It's not perfect. That's all I was saying. I buy the 3s if they look really nice. So I hope people understand what I'm saying now. And the second thing is, this is hard to talk about. Cards being altered. Where do I even start with this? I got an example here. So, yes, I'm a card trimmer. Look at this. Oh, beautiful. 1952 Wheaties. It came out of ComC and somebody just like ripped it out of the box, right? I gave it a nice, beautiful trim. Oh, it's a hand-cut card. That's fine. But the card on the right, I actually did something too that some people maybe would say I shouldn't have done. So this card right here, I got, and just like most of these cards, because of the way that they were put in the packs, with the wax packs there, and the position of the card in the pack, they have wax stains on the back. So what I did is, well, I told my wife that I took a pair of her pantyhose. I should have gave her more context than that. I think she just kind of looked at me weird. I didn't tell her that I was cleaning the back of the card with it. And those wax stains with these glossy cards that are more modern, I just wiped it down a little bit with the pantyhose there, and the wax stains just disappear without doing any damage to the card. I actually sold a card that got an 8. I believe it was a Adrian Dantley. And when I sold the card, though, too, I disclosed that information, right? Well, maybe if you take a look at this card, that certain number of PSAs watching is going to be decertified, right? I don't care. It's going to stay in my PC. But with the Adrian Dantley, I told the buyer, like, yes, like I took the card and had a wax stain in the back, and I just took it off with pantyhose, right? And I think that's what we need to have is just more disclosures what's going on. And there's a lot of people that, vintage collectors, that say soaking cards is fine to try to get the glue residue off the back of it. And then there's people saying, no, just like you don't touch the card. You do not soak the card. What I'm concerned about with like Kurt's card care and the techniques and stuff that he's showing people. And by the way, like the price of vintage going up is really causing these issues, and the price between a 3 and a 4 and a 5. What in the past, really like the 9s and the 10s were worth money. So they were trying to do whatever you could do to get a 9 or a 10. And if cards had surface wrinkles and other issues, you just didn't want to even alter it because it just wouldn't pay off to try to make that card look better, right? Because you needed the 9s or the 10s to get the money, the big money. So in the past, like I felt very comfortable buying like a 5 or a 6 because oh my God, it's probably not altered in a PSA slab, SGC slab. By the way, I'd feel more confident now just buying SGC and CGC slabs or even Beckett slabs. I think there's still shenanigans going on in any slab, but it's probably less. And actually, I think we're getting to the point that I think a lot of people just gave up, and rightfully so. And I think that there's a lot of collectors just saying, you know, I'm just going to buy a card that is in an altered slab because it is, at least I know it's altered, and I'm going to get a great price on it, right? So, and I haven't bought many altered cards, or I think, like, I probably bought some raw ones too. Here's one I missed. And by the way, here it is, recolored. These 1971 tops. And one of the corners, somebody took, I missed it. I have no idea. I mean, if you look at the corners, you can tell. By the way, the person who did it did a really nice job. You could barely see any of the black go through the edge on one of the corners. And when I sell this card, I'm going to sell this on eBay with this PSA card saver that says it's recolored and disclose all that information. I'm not going to try to rip anybody off. The card, the damage done, but there are still collectors that would love that card for a cheap alternative that looks beautiful for their binder, right? Because of the centering of that card and the color of the face, no wrinkles across the face, no bends. But somebody tried to get a higher grade and kind of ruined that card. So what do we need to do? I mean, I don't think there's anything that we can do at this point. If things are worth money, people will do whatever they do to try to make money. I'm just concerned about the soaking and the pressing. And I'll tell you why, the two things. If you soak and press a card, I think a lot of that damage is going to come back inside the holder over time. So there's been a lot of instances where people got cards on the back of it that there's no stain, and then over time, a stain reappears on the back of the card. So, right, I mean, with like a card like this, right, if there was a stain on the back, like right here, maybe by soaking the card and dabbing it and doing something, you can kind of get rid of that for a while, but maybe over time that will actually come back to the surface. Or if you had a surface wrinkle that you could kind of make look really good, and then a grader misses it, it could slowly come back over time, right? And I think that's why PSA is just really concerned about it, because they take the cards and they basically have kind of a little bit of a warranty on them, right? So if there's a big stain that comes back, will they actually have to pay out for things like that, right? I mean, another thing I was thinking is maybe have a green label. Just let people alter cards all they want. Let them trim them. right? Let them press them down, things like that, and put them in a green label instead of a red label, right? So you got the blue for the autographs, you got the red for regular cards, and then PSA could have a green altered label. Let people go to town. Let them get out Sharpies, make the card, use their art skills on the card, paint in the black. But again, like what's going to happen is people are going to do this and then they're going to get a green label and then they're going to go ahead and like try to crack it out and submit it and try to get a regular grade from another company, right? But I think that's where we kind of are in the hobby is we just got to let the collectors just make the decisions, right? And I think a lot of people are right now. I think a lot of people buy the angry comments in my last video are saying like, I'm going for the 2s and the 3s. I am going to get the card that just looks nice to me. I don't care about the number on the slab. And I am in the same boat with you, right? However, I'm going to do that for as cheap as possible, right? And so that's what I kind of do is whenever I look at cards as well, I also I just try to buy the nicest card in the condition before it spikes in price, right? So for instance, or if I get a really good deal on it. So for instance, I bought recently a 1979 Ozzie Smith and I graded a bunch and I had 1s and 7s and 7.5s from CSG or CGC, SGC that looked beautiful. But then there was one amazingly centered PSA 8 that I bought for $200. And I was like, well, they're going for like $250 to $300 and this one looks gorgeous. And so I sold all my other ones and I just had that one nice copy. And for me, that's fine, right? But a lot of people just say like that, you're an idiot. You spent $200 on a card that I could get for $40 in a beautiful SGC 6 slab. Or I could get it like a perfectly centered one. Well, you can't. They don't exist. But I could get like a 3 Ozzie Smith with a big wrinkle across it, but gorgeous color and centering. And I could pay $30 for it, right? So that's the great thing about this hobby. We can all do what we want to do. So I apologize if I ruffled any feathers there. I guess maybe I should just do that all the time. Just like put out troll videos. I could get like 3, 4, 5,000 views in a day. Maybe I'll have like 10,000 subscribers. Have more subscribers than like John Mangini for some really. Why does he only have like that? Like, is he under 10,000 subscribers? That's just ridiculous. I mean, he's the hobby president. I mean, he should have as many as Jeff Wilson. So, in the comments below, let me know what you think. And I rambled on today about what's going on in the hobby with card altering. Like, what do you find acceptable? What don't you find acceptable? And also, with the grades of cards, right? Are you okay with getting a PSA 3 but paying like a PSA 5 price, right? On the eye appeal alone. So how much is eye appeal worth to you, right? Is it worth a number grade, right, for comps? Or is it priceless? Like, will you just like pay double, like comps for a card that is beautiful for you? And I could see that being the case for like a very rare card, like a Mickey Mantle or something like that. Like, did I just say that out? That was a stupid comment. Mickey Mantles are not rare. But like a very high valued card, right? That's, you're going to have to pay a lot for, but like, would you pay double for that card if it had everything that you were looking for? So again, I apologize. And in the comments, let me know. And as always, have a great day. Keep on collecting.